In the course of this review, I will talk about the 3 most important things you must know as a beginner farmer: cleaning well, feeding well, and monitoring, while reviewing the experiences we encountered with farmers last week. Well, last week started with a complaint, unlike usual. So this particular farmer, his complaint was that he has lost 50 out of the 100 snails that he got from the company. So we were like, okay, fine. It is unreal for you to have lost over 50 snails. So what exactly is happening? So we told him, okay, fine, no problem. Send a video of your farm so that we can help you analyze together, and other people can put in the inputs. Then from there, we can determine how we would help you as a company with new snails, possibly. Okay, so on sending his video, we discovered that he was using packers to feed. Now the downside of using packers to feed is that it's just one place, and he's putting the calcium supplement separate, the vegetable separate, and he's using this water can for birds to feed snails. That's already a disaster waiting to happen, because the packer is very thin and very small surface area. Not all the snails will be able to feed in it. Same thing with also the water can. Not all the snails will be able. Snails don't actually go to drink water like bird. They just absorb water from their skin. So you need something that gives a large surface area, maybe like a tray, a bowl. That works perfectly. So on spotting this, we told him, please, you have to work on your mulching properly. Your mulching is not done rightly. We've been advocating that you put sticks in your pen and create more room for the snails to move around, and that would also enable you to cover up your pen. Why not putting any form of pressure or weight on the snails? But of course, this farmer decided I will just go ahead and do my thing. But I guess maybe he's uninformed also. However, it's just heartbreaking that some farmers will take trainings and they will still just do what they want to do. But we'll keep pushing. That's why we have the community of practicing farmers. I guess he has been corrected and he has taken corrections. We would be posting more videos on more updates on his farm in later times. Maybe when he tells us, okay, this is what he has done, this is what he has done to improve, these are certain changes that he has made. But for now, we've not gotten any video so far. So I think this subject would also border around monitoring. So I don't even know which one to start with. I think let's start with feeding. Yeah. So what this farmer is basically showing us how he mulched her farm. Okay, she called us a lot of debt. Okay, she called us and informed us that she was losing some of her snails and they were stretching. So we had to make inquiries to know exactly what was happening and asked her to do a proper breakdown of her farm. Looking at her farm, she was doing everything right, literally everything right. She had her mulching material on point. Everything was perfect. So there were only 2 things that could possibly be a source of concern for her. Look at that snail. See how stretched it is? Yep, that was what I'm talking about. Was the feeding? Yep. So we discovered something lately, that watermelon, I don't know, I think the guys that produce watermelon, they're using saccharin to sustain it, and they're adding coloration or what to it, because it's really killing the snails. Yeah. So that was what we discovered. And how did we discover it? Just he actually bought some watermelon balls, or what is it called, pod. Okay, I think that's the name. And he served the snails some and left the others. And on getting back, just after 2 days, the pod had degraded so badly, and he was like, oh goodness me, this is what has been killing my snails. So this is after the cleanup. We're like, okay, fine, do a thorough cleanup of your pen and make sure your pen is very clean. So on the subject of feeding, when you're trying to feed your snails as a beginner, you have to follow a strict feeding regimen. So it's not just everything that you feed. So take, for example, on arrival, you'll be feeding your snails fruits, because they've entered a mini state of hibernation. During the journey, they are jumping up and down. The vehicles are carrying them, hitting them like from left to right. Now, in that state, they tend to hibernate and reduce their movement from one place to another. The best thing you can do for your snails is to give them fruits for the first 3 days of arrival. After the first 3 days of arrival, you need to switch back to the 1-to-1 feeding regimen. Hope you see how properly mulched is. Everywhere is covered. It is dry season, and this should be the standard. Note, you have to place your dry leaves, place your stones first. On your stones, you place your sticks, and on your sticks, you first of all lay the dry leaves before you lay the fresh ones. Soak your dry leaves in water. They have higher tendency to absorb water. Then the fresh one have the ability to limit evaporation and reduce evaporation. Everything happening under your pen, it creates a cooling effect for them. Yes. So this was a farmer that built her pen newly. Like we would always say, the biggest challenge for farmers in AgroCycle is not getting babies but expansion. They get a lot of babies that expansion becomes very, very important, and your baby starts dying when they cannot contain or live within that space. Okay, so this one is just a woman. I think this place looks very familiar. So she got only one egg, and she came to show us that she's now a snail farmer. She was really excited, and that's the beauty of it. So while still on feeding, now after your snails have arrived to your pen, you've given them fruits for the first 3 days, you have to go back to the feeding regimen, which is the 1-to-1 feeding regimen. The 1-to-1 feeding regimen talks about what you give your snails. Take for example, one is fruits. So on Monday you decide to give them fruits. On Tuesday you give them formulated feed. On Wednesday you give them formulated feed. On Thursday you give them vegetables. On Friday you give them formulated feed. Saturday you give them formulated feed. Sunday you give them fruits. So fruit, feed, vegetables, feed, fruit, feed, vegetables, feed, fruit. That's just the 1-to-1 feeding regimen, and that's how the proper way to feed your snails. Now you might be wondering, why are you feeding like that? The fruits helps you hydrate your snails. The formulated feed provides you enough nutrients for them to grow big and lay a lot of eggs for you. Remember, you have to mix your calcium every time you're feeding them. Then lastly, your fruits, your vegetables serves as antioxidant to detoxify them and make them better able to fight against diseases. So still on this woman, we were like, oh, okay, fine. You know what, snails don't usually lay one egg, so maybe you just out of excitement you went to disturb these snails that were laying eggs, and that is it. So what she's showing us is what she's going to feed the snails, and she's trying to wash her vegetables that she'll be chopping into bits and serving the snails. So we were like, go back and loosen the soil, search the soil, you might just find eggs buried underneath. So that was what she was. That's why the pen is a bit scattered. She's trying to clean her pen, and that is it. Now the next thing is cleaning. Very, very important. Cleaning is not something you do once and you leave it. You do it daily. Now, is it difficult? No, it's not that difficult. It is very, very, very easy. Now, how do you start up with cleaning? Take for example, you fed your snails this night. I don't know when you're watching this video, it might be in the morning, but just assume that you fed them, okay, for the day. Then in the evening, okay, you fed them. You're supposed to feed them in the evening anyways, and the next day. Okay, this is one of our farmers. He's starting out, constructed his pen, and he's showing off to know if there are any adjustments that needs to be made on the farm. Okay, so far we're having a standard 3 feet by 5 feet pen, and take note, all the dimensions mentioned are internal dimensions, not external. Please take note of this. They are all internal dimensions. Your 3 feet by 5 feet, which is the standard for a stocking density of 100 snails, is 3 feet by 5 feet. Please, internal diameter, and 3 coaches from ground level. Now we have that out of the way. Now you've come back to work the next day. What do? First of all, you take out the fresh leaf. Remember I told you to mulch with dry leaves and fresh leaves. Now you take out your fresh leaves, keep them aside. The dry leaves, you take them out and soak them in water. Then you pick out your leftovers and you wash your feeding tray. Your preferred feeding tray is usually PVC boards. Now this is one of our farmers that started out. He's running both a hybrid farm, and he is running a hybrid farm, which is a combination of intensive and extensive. So this is him showing off his extensive pen. He planted a lot of things and they are doing really well. So you can see they are providing a reasonable amount of shade for the snails, that you are having difficulty seeing the snails. And that's how it should be. In a free range farm, you shouldn't be able to find where your snails are. They should be hidden in the soil, very well hidden. Okay, should be quite, so you can see how loose in the soil is. That's naturally how soil is in free range. It's not always packed, it's always loosened, because earthworms are doing the job, ants are moving around, loosening the soil. So it's usual to expect this. Now this is the size of his babies, and they're just barely 3 months old. Yep. And when they get to 5, it takes about 9 months for them to get to the point where they start laying. So from those tiny eggs you're seeing to when they get to lay eggs is about 9 months. So while we're still on the cleaning, now you've done all you need to do. You've removed the leftovers. You've taken out the feeding tray, which are PVC boards, to go and wash them. After washing them, what do? You sprinkle water on your snails. Make sure water touches every single snail in your pen. Make sure. Well, that doesn't mean you should flood your pen. Now look closely at this soil. You notice that it's not flooded. It's not flooded. It has the right consistency. The snails that you're looking at are not water snails. These are land snails. They need humidity. They do not need you to flood the place or pour excess water. If it becomes muddy or there's excess water, they start dying. So you can see, I think she got about 170 babies. If you're looking to find all these videos, all these real videos, you can check our official page at AgroCycle on Facebook. You will find all these videos well documented, and you can hear directly from the horse's mouth. Now, after you've washed your tray, you've poured water on them, what do you need to do? You replace the feeding tray. Now you put your feed inside. What do you want to feed them? Are you feeding them fruits? Are you feeding them vegetables? Are you feeding them whatever you're going to feed them? You replace them inside. I think that's what this woman is doing. Okay, so just replace whatever you're going to feed them. Go ahead and put it there. Yes, so you can see, you will see I think you will see PVC boards, you will see trays. See those PVC boards, those white things there are called the PVC boards. You see how the snails have gathered around to eat. So no matter where the snails are coming from, they usually find food. These ones are being fed fruits. Yep, they usually find food. So you go back and pour. Why is she doing it like this? Why is she pouring water like that? It's funny. But you put your tray. See, she has enough water sources there. You see how spread out the thing is. No, you cannot use those round trays for round place for feeding, for watering, for giving water to fishes, for giving water to what again? Birds, and try to feed snails. So you see, she soaks them in water, flings them a bit, and she's trying to mulch everywhere to create that cooling effect. Yes, so that's both. We've talked about cleaning, we've talked about feeding, we've talked about cleaning. Now the next thing we have to talk about is monitoring. Now what is monitoring? Monitoring is something that you need to do. You do have to come and do it every day? Not necessarily, but it's important that you do it. So let's think about it this way. The first thing is, your snails, you need to know, are they eating well? Is the environment conducive for them? Is it a good time when you need to spend time with them? How do you spend time with them? Let's say you go to work and you come back by 6 p.m. Now you did the cleaning and the feeding 6 to 7. You take 2 hours and rest, come back by 9. Then you come and look at your pen. What would you find out? You find out, some of my snails are not moving properly. Some of them are not eating well. Some of them are having issues. I just got eggs. I just noticed that this pen is not big enough for all my snails. Some parts are congested. You notice a lot of things. A serious whole lot of things. Now you be like, where do we go from here? How did we get to here? Like, where did we, it is in this process of monitoring your pen that you discover that this is how snails mate. My snails do not like eating fruits. They don't like eating this ants are in my pen. The ants have started attacking. you discover a whole lot of things. And those are the 3 things that if you do consistently, you would excel. Now my question is, why are farmers not doing it? Why are farmers not doing it? Why are you not doing it? Or maybe you intend to start. Why are you not doing it? So you see how well she's mulching. The snails are not affected. The weight is not on the snail. None of them, they still access their food. They will go under there and they will do their thing. It's suspended on the stick. So they don't know what is happening. It doesn't occur to them that there is even dry season or there is a wet season or there is this. And that's the beauty of snail farming. Your goal in snail farming is to create an ecosystem where the snails can comfortably thrive. Okay? The snails can comfortably thrive regardless of what the temperature says outside, or what the humidity level is saying outside. That is not your business, and that's why you're a snail farmer. Now, a lot of beginner snail farmers would go ahead and make this mistake. The mistake of, oh, I want to start, but I've watched YouTube videos. I watched a lot of YouTube videos. Does it work? Yeah, YouTube videos are good, but you need knowledge. Please get good knowledge. Get knowledge that is properly organized. I don't know if you get me. These are just the little things that farmers do that make the difference for them. I might just be wondering, how shall we? We manage currently over 360 farmers. So why do you think that we cannot talk about and boil down their whole activity to just 3 things? That is it. Now I heard people tell you, oh, treat your soil. See, we believe that, first of all, if you understand snail farming, treating of your soil, you know that it's not the main thing. It's really not your main thing. So if I treat my soil, my snails will die. So it doesn't mean if my snail, after treating my soil, my snail will not die. That's not the answer. Snails will die. They're living animals. They will die. Okay? But when you're having a death rate that is outrageous, then something is wrong. Snails don't just stay and die. Yes, you might have maybe 1 in a week, just 1 will die off. And maybe like in another week, like you'll not even have death at all. You get babies, a lot of babies, that maybe 1 would die off, and that's it. But it's not when you have an outrageous death, like you're losing 13 snails in a day, please call for concern. Like, take for example the woman that we showed you earlier. We shared her pictures with you earlier. She was complaining concerning her snails. Oh, my snails are dying. She lost 13 in a day. The first thing she did was to make a video, reach out to the consultant, and she got her response. That's one thing that stands about AgroCycle. You are never alone. We have 3 cadres of support for you, like 3 levels of support for you. You have your peer support, the person that you're starting your journey with, you like people at your level, people that are starters. They don't know much, they don't know anything about snail farming, but they are really interested. They want to start up. Okay, you have those people. Then your level. Then we have people that are above you, that have been able to achieve success and start their farms. What do you are attached to them, depending on your locality. Like AgroCycle is literally the only company that has brought snail farming to the doorstep of people. So instead of you traveling all the way to my farm in Owerri or our farm in Lagos or the one in Kaduna, where are you? Depending on your locality. I think this woman is currently in Warri, if I'm not wrong. Yes, in Warri. Okay, so now if you're in Warri, do you think that you have to come to Owerri? No, we'll simply attach you to her so you come and see things for yourself. And that's one unique quality that AgroCycle has, that many other farmers find it very, very difficult to replicate. We are highly community centered. Our community is our strength. Okay, so we can tell you that yes, if it comes to training, forget it. AgroCycle will provide you with the best form of training you could possibly imagine. Now, as a beginner, what else am I going to tell you? Is it feeding? You want to learn how to formulate your feed? You have it in your study materials. You will get it. And how can you even get your study materials? Simply check the link in the description section. You will find the study material. If you have gotten to this point, it means you're already a good farmer. So carefully watch this video. You see, she has laid the dry ones first. The next thing is the fresh ones. That is how you lay it in your farm. Don't go and be overstretching yourself over. You want to do this, you want to do that. Just do these things every day. And you see, we've been watching her do everything. Has it taken up to 15 minutes? No. At most, say you too stress, 1 hour, you're done cleaning your entire pen, and you can go and do other things. And if you do this thing consistently for a period of time, your pen would be very, very fine. I think she's trying to take care of another pen. I think this one, I think this is a completely different pen. She has about 3 pens totally, and she's doing the same thing for each and every one of the pen. Simple. So you're a beginner farmer, try as much as possible to find a mentor. Don't go and start. You jump from one YouTube video to the next YouTube video to another YouTube video to this YouTube video. Does it work? You will learn a lot that you become confused. Some people will tell you treat your soil. Now for AgroCycle, we don't care. If you want to treat your soil, that's up to you. If you don't care, just sieve your soil and start. Okay. Now you want another person will tell you, oh, please give me a step-by-step process of starting. Like, take it easy. Which other step-by-step process of starting do you really want? Like, when you think about it, it's like everything is here. We've done the extra work of putting down. What is that challenge that you can possibly have? Starting is not the problem. Maintaining your farm is the problem. Get good breeders. Very, very important. Having good breeders is more important than even starting a farm. I've heard people say that, oh, they bought the snails from the market. Is it bad to buy from the market? No. But what are the possible challenges there? You might not just know the age at which your snails currently are. That's another thing. So you might just be buying snails that have been laying for 1 year already. And now, because you feel like you don't even know the right type of breeders, in your mind, big snails are the right ones. No, big snails are not necessarily the ones that lay eggs. No. They're not necessarily the ones that lay eggs. The snails that lay eggs are sexually matured. They might not be physically big. At 9 months, are they very big? No, they're not very big, but at least they will start laying eggs. Now, they lay eggs for a period of 2 years. What happens is that some farmers now decide that, oh, I want to make money fast. They lay 1 year and they give it out. Yes, you get eggs, but how long would you get eggs? Just 1 year left before they will now start dragging their feet. They will not lay much. They will just be doing their thing. And it's very, very it's not enticing. Okay. Now lastly, I want to talk about something. Understand that snail farming and snail farming businesses are 2 different things. Please understand it and know peace. In snail farming business, your goal is not to raise the snail. No. Your goal is not necessary to raise the snail. Your goal is to find snail, add value to it, and sell it off to make money. Read my lips. Find snails, add value to it, sell it off, and make more money. So take, for example, you go to the market and you buy snails. Instead of just selling them off just like that with their shells, you crack the shells, you wash them. After washing them, you put them in a dryer and you drain the water. After draining them, you look for customers and you sell them to it. So you bought them at 1,800 and you're selling it at 2,700 for one. It makes sense. Okay. So that's the aspect of the snail business. Oh, I decide to, I start producing feed. I now gather customers who buy feed and I start selling feed to them. That's a snail business. Oh, I don't have what it takes to sell to hotels. Okay, I want to export outside the country. That is the snail business. What is the snail farming? The snail farming is the process of raising the snails, keeping them in captivity, nurturing them, and giving them an enabling environment for them to produce more babies. The goal is not for profit at the moment. The goal is, your priority is to produce more snails, and it takes a longer time to recover your money. So when people who have the mindset of business now come into the farming, they mix it up, and your expectations are different. Your expectations are not right. Does it mean you cannot do farming and business at the same time? No, it doesn't. It in no way means like it doesn't mean that. You can do both of them and excel at it, but just have the right mindset approaching each one. That is what I want you to have, the right mindset approaching each one. Snail farming can make you a millionaire, yes. However, it will take time.
Snail business can make you a millionaire. Yes. Will it take as long? No. But it will take a lot of work from your own end, because you have to wash, clean, you have to drain, you have to bake, you have to air dry, you have to do this package, find customers, sell. Would you have to do the same thing for farming? Yes, but at least you already have the snails settled down. I know I've said a lot already, and I know you would take what I've said and make the most out of it. Do well to like, follow, and subscribe to AgroCycle.